Hi there. This whole chapter is about cover design, so it's going to start getting really fun. Within this lesson, I just want to give a quick overview of some of the elements that make for an effective book cover. Now, I know we're all fans of the sentiment, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but that doesn't apply in the publishing world. The truth is, you can have the best book in the world, but if people don't want to buy it because they're turned off by the cover, no one's going to know how great your book is. So you're really doing your book a disservice if you don't put the same mindful attention into crafting the cover as you did into writing the book in the first place. Now, the good news is that your book cover is one of the things KDP will allow you to change after publication. So if you're initially just unsure on your cover, or if after publication you're not seeing the sales that you want to see, you can go back, redesign your cover, go back into your bookshelf in KDP, upload a new cover, and within a couple of days it'll be live on Amazon. And a lot of authors do this if they're not getting the sales that they want from their books. They just go in, redesign their cover, and sometimes sales dramatically increase just by making that change. So there's not a ton of pressure, but obviously it's always better to do it right the first time around if we can. So let's just go through. I made some quick points here that you should note about an effective book cover. First and foremost, your book cover should look professional. If you don't have the skill set to do it, or if you don't have the desire to do it, hire someone who does. Later in this chapter, I'm going to show you exactly where you can get amazing book covers designed for as little as $5 or $10. These are artists I have used multiple times in the past, so we'll talk about that. I'm also going to show you how to create your own covers in Canva, and it's super fun. But if this just isn't something you want to do, then hire out for it, because there are a lot of covers on Amazon. I can go through Amazon right now and I can pick out the self-publishers. I can look at the cover and say, that's a self-publisher, that's a self-publisher, that's a self-publisher, because the covers just look amateur. Your cover shouldn't look amateur. No one should be able to scroll through Amazon and pick your book out and say, you're a self-publisher, right? You don't want to look amateur, you want to look professional. So first and foremost, that's top priority. Another element is that you really need to have a readable title and subtitle. Once you get into Canva and you start creating your own cover, it's going to be tempting to use a lot of graphics and illustrations, images, and so forth. But it's really important that your title and your subtitle are very, very clear, very legible. You also want to be sure that your book cover appeals to your very specific target audience. So for example, if your book is targeted toward teens, you need to use designs and colors and images, even fonts that are going to appeal to teenagers. Your title should also give a very clear indication of what your book is about. A really vague title isn't going to make your book look mysterious. It's just going to alienate potential readers, right? If your title is somewhat vague, then you can use and should use a subtitle to really clarify what it's about. You also want to align the mood of the genre with your cover. If your book is a professional text, this should be reflected in your cover design. If it's a comical text, this should be reflected in your cover design. If it's a horror story, that should be reflected, so on and so forth. Your cover should have also a central focus point, right? The eyes should strategically be led to a specific feature, and that should probably be your title and subtitle. You also want to be mindful of the fonts, the typography you're using, the colors, the images. They all need to complement the book's subject matter. There really needs to be an alignment between the mood of your cover and the book's genre. You also want to use multiple fonts in your cover, and we're going to go through this all in really great detail later on in this chapter, but using multiple fonts is huge. I recommend using at least 2 different fonts on the cover, potentially 3, but probably no more than 3, or it's going to look too busy. Ultimately, you just want to entice your reader to take a closer look. I mean, you've been shopping for books. You're obviously a book lover if you're a writer. You know that your eye is caught very often just by the cover, right? And that's the point. You want to entice your reader. So however you need to bring them in, you need to hone in and hone in on your target audience and create a cover that your target audience is going to be attracted to. And if you're at a loss for ideas, just look at some of the books on your bookshelf. Go to a library, look at books that are in a similar genre as yours to get some ideas. So again, I'm going to go over all of this in really great detail throughout the chapter, but I just wanted to give a really quick overview. So I will see you again very soon in the next lesson.